Also having their convention this weekend, we have the Southern Nevada Area Fantasy and Science Fiction Union. They're called SNAFFU for short. And with us today we have John Harden.
Good morning, Deborah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Also with us today, Woody Bernardi, and he's the chair of the convention coming up, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Also with us today, Joyce Katz, and she's going to talk to us about the history of science fiction and why women are involved with it now, and thank you for joining us too.
Thank you.
And then the president of the local chapter, Aileen Foreman.
Aline.
Yes. Aileen Foreman, and thank you for joining us too.
Thank you.
We'll start with Aileen and Joyce then. You know, representatives of a science fiction organization. I think we were assuming, Aileen, that it was all men.
Well, I think that when people think of science fiction fans, they tend to think of a adolescent teenage boy. But
collecting comics.
Yes, exactly. It's gone a lot farther than that, certainly. And
Actually, at one time, I believe it might have been all male. But starting in about the 60s, the influx of women into the hobby group was very strong. Now, there are probably at least 25–30% of the writers are female. There's no stigma at all against women in this organization.
Science fiction writers being female. Is it a different point of view? I'm going to ask the men. What do you think?
Different point of view. They can bring a different perspective to it. Women's writer, you don't find as many women writers who specialize in the hard science fiction aspect of it. I don't know what that indicates, but
Well, any individual brings a different perspective. Of course, a woman will have a different perspective from a man, but I don't know that that's necessarily different from the different perspective that another woman would have.
Okay, got it.
I think to cement it down, it's just that women writers tend to have a more interpersonal reactions within their characters. In
People
their
getting involved and
they discuss the characters more. Sometimes male authors discuss the hard science of that book, and that's all they want to get involved with, and you hardly know the characters by the end.
Now, there were women who published prior to, say, the 60s under either their initials, so they weren't identified as women, or under actually a male name. One of the most famous is a woman who took on the name James Tiptree Jr. And what happened was she was invited to many conventions as a guest of honor, and she always refused because nobody knew she was a woman. Well, she decided at some point, I believe in the late 60s or early 70s, to actually go.
And
they found out when she showed up that they had actually a woman guest of honor.
That's great. I bet you they were surprised too.
Yes.
You've got two books, as a matter of fact, by authors who will be at this particular sci-fi convention. First of all, we're talking about women. The writer of Star Trek, The Forbidden, what is that?
It's called The Kobayashi Maru. The Kobayashi Maru is...
Could you show me that book as you...
Sure. The Kobayashi Maru is, as hardcore Star Trek fans know, is a test that all of the Starfleet Academy graduates it's their final test. Well, Julia Ecklar writes for pocketbooks, and they had her write a novelization of that concept. All the main characters are talking about their experiences with the test.
How's Star Trek and those kind of shows, Star Wars, classified in science fiction, Aileen?
Well,
I was going to say, is it lightweight, kind of, or is it a different word for it?
yeah,
well,
there's a different word for it. It's called media fandom.
Media fans.
Media science fiction.
Media science fiction?
That's people who are more interested in the movies, the television, and the books that come from that. These characters got popular on television and just sort of snuck their way into the literary side.
Also, too, John, you were telling me something about space operas. Now, what's that?
Space opera is a genre that's characterized by big themes, simple themes, black and white, good versus evil.
Like Star Wars?
Star Wars is the perfect example. It's space opera.
Okay. And then the hardcore science fiction, what would that be, representative of?
2010?
Yes.
There's hard science fiction, which is features a lot of technical information. Plus there's darker stuff, cyberpunk, which is...
Cyberpunk.
Like
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner is a good example of the genre. Writers like William Gibson, and William Gibson is the premier, probably, author in that.
Now, Woody, you have another book, and this is Paul Anderson?
P-O-U-L, Paul Anderson.
Hold the book this way. There you go.
Okay. Paul Anderson is our main guest of honor, and he's been publishing science fiction since the 40s, I believe the late 40s. He's won 7 Hugo Awards, which is the award that's given by the fans, by the readers of the books, and 3 Nebulas, which is the award given by the colleagues, the fellow authors, in his time. And the latest Hugo and Nebulas he won were in the 80s, so he's very current.
That's good. So we have all kinds of people that are, I would say, probably big in the science fiction community than Judy that'll be here for the convention. Also, we're going to be featuring work of cartoonists as well. We've got a tape, as a matter of fact, we can roll that shows us 2 pieces of art. I guess you call it sci-fi art?
Actually, more
art.
Fannish art than
Fannish
science fictional. That is, it doesn't really concern mechanical things so much as the joy of being a science fiction fan.
So what's that one right there?
This is Joe Fan, the quintessential science fiction fan, entering into the city.
And what's this?
And this is a cartoon done by Potshot, who'll be participating in the cartoon jam that will happen at the convention.
What's a cartoon jam?
The cartoonists get together and members of the audience will suggest subjects and they'll vie with each other and cooperate with each other to turn out cartoons on the subject.
I'm listening to all these different the terminology. We're talking about books, we're talking about art, we're talking about convention, the convention coming up, and then also I guess you're going to have a masquerade party on top of that.
It's a trend, or it's popular in at conventions.
Dress up as a character?
Characters are common. Just people will dress up as anything, any sort of costume that people can put together. They like to wear them. There's hall costumes. You know, people dress up as barbarians or spacemen, whatever there is. And we're going to be holding a dance, a costume party Saturday night at 8:30, and we'll be giving awards based on informal judging. Should be a lot of fun.
Okay. It'll be held after the banquet. There's a banquet starting at 4 o'clock on Saturday that will be featuring the speeches from our guests of honor.
So this Southern Nevada Area Fantasy and Science Fiction Union Convention is also this weekend?
Yes.
It's called
Starts
SilverCon.
on Friday night.
Starts on Friday night?
It starts on Friday night with the Meet the Pros. Ends on Saturday with the Dead Dog Party.
Sunday.
The Dead Dog
On
Party.
Sunday night.
Yes.
And where's
Dead
all
Dog
this
Party.
happening?
It will be happening at the Union Plaza, downtown on Main Street.
Number 1 Main Street.
Number 1 Main Street.
Number 1 Main Street. I think it's called the Plaza now, I guess, or something?
The
Jackie
Jackie
Gons
Gons
Plaza.
Plaza.
Okay.
Jackie Gons Plaza, yes.
To find out more about the Southern Nevada Area Fantasy and Science Fiction Convention this weekend, and this is for all of you sci-fi fans, you can call this number, 896-6338. That number again, 896-6338. And thank you all for joining us, too.
Thank you.
It's been interesting. I learned more about sci-fi today. After this, we're going to come back and tell you about the Southern Nevada Musical Arts Society's latest presentation, and it is called Hondo Saw, so stay with us.